It's Ron Goodall, FightHype.com. I'm here with former Unified lightweight champion of the world, George Ferocious Kambosos, when he takes on Vasiliy Lomachenko on May 12th. First and foremost, champ, how has everything been in training camp?
Yeah, everything's been fantastic. Tremendous training camp. A great team around me. Great sparring partners, guys that have emulated Vasiliy Lomachenko to a T. And I couldn't ask for anything more in this camp. It's been fantastic, and we're 4 weeks out now, so bring on May 12th.
You know, you've had an incredible run, like as a resume, win, loss, just opponents in general. You fought Teofimo Lopez, you became the victor. You know, Devin Haney twice, came up short. So with this Vasiliy Lomachenko fight that's happening, like what is different in this fight? Because I know that every time you took these fights, the fans, the bookies, they've always looked at you as the underdog.
Yeah, look, I'm always the underdog. I'm a guy from Sydney, Australia that should never be in this position, but consistently, Kambosos is able to rise to the top of the boxing world, rise to the mega fights. I have a tremendous fan base. I have so much support in my country of Australia, so much support from my country in Greece as well. And when you talk Cambosos, you talk mega fights. You look at the resume, future Hall of Famers all across it, especially in the last 2.5 years. So you look at a guy like Lopez, you look at a guy like Devin Haney, and then you look at a guy like Vasiliy Lomachenko, great fighters. But I think Lomachenko, he's been around for so long. He's so proven, and it's a motivating factor. This guy's a future Hall of Famer. He's got the two-time Olympic gold medals, the three division world titles. It is a big, motivating factor to beat a guy like that. He's a legend. He's a living legend, and I know when I take him out, I can add my more accolades to this, you know, huge career I've already been able to, amass.
You know, I know the your last fight with Maxie Hughes wasn't your best performance, and obviously we've seen fighters like Shakur Stevenson, even like Richardson Hitchens, that fighters sometimes don't have their best performance when everyone's watching. So, what have you learned from that fight? Was there is it safe to say that that fight is not going to represent what we're going to see on May 12th?
Yeah, look, every fight is different, and some days it's not your best day. At the end of the day, you got to look at someone that goes to work every day. They have so many more opportunities. The next day, if they have a bad day, come back the next day. Fighters, they have a great preparation, and then all of a sudden, things start to snowball, and things go wrong, and all of a sudden, that day where you're supposed to show doesn't go right. But I'm very proud of how I was able to adapt in that fight. And again, at my worst and Maxi's best, I was still able to win that fight. And I've watched that fight countless times. I have muted the commentary because I feel that, and I love the ESPN guys and the ESPN commentary, and I just feel like the commentary was very biased towards Maxi. And it uses the snowball effect. You hear the underdog doing better than what he's supposed to do. Everyone thought it was going to blow him out. People start to lead onto that, and people don't watch the fight and say, "No, he should have won." But we take that motivation and that fight into the next fight, and we've been able to put ourselves in a great position to bring another mega fight, a motivating fight, a big fight. How can you be not motivated when you fight a guy like Vasiliy Lomachenko? Now, I've been in the big fights. When I look at the big fights, Lopez, Haney twice, now Lomachenko, they're the big fights. They're the fights that gets me up, gets me excited, gets me up at 5 in the morning to get on the road with my team, gets me in the gym 3 times a day, do everything right. So you can't, leave no stone unturned against a guy like Lomachenko. So we'll bet our best for this fight.
You know, you've unified the division. You've had countless great big fights, made a lot of money. So, in this part of your career, do you feel like this is kind of like a make or break fight just for you personally because of the fact that is there something deeper than just winning more titles or writing what some people might feel is like you didn't really beat Tio on his best day and then the Devin Haney fight comes. Is there certain narratives that you're trying to beat or is there something deeper than that in this fight?
Look, for me, the motivating factor is to continue doing what I do best, add another world title to my huge collection that I got upstairs. That's the motivating factor. Keep showing that the underdog, the little guy, can keep beating these guys. And you say that I didn't beat Teofimo Lopez on his best. What facts or what information do you have? What from him just saying that? What proof do you have? And if there is proof, you don't tell me that first round when I took his head and nearly put it in the bleachers, didn't rip him apart. But That's just Lopez talking shit. That's just him that can't handle that I went in there and beat the shit out of him. So I take my wins, I take my losses, and we move forward. I'm very focused on the guy that I got right now, and that's Vasiliy Lomachenko. I cannot lose focus on that. I cannot lose, my tunnel vision that I have on beating a guy like that, and that's where we are right now. That's the goal. That's what we focus on, and everything else doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. I'm a fighter. You know, through all my blood, I'm a fighter. I'm a warrior. I step to the best, and I never look to milk it. Yes, money comes and goes. World titles are there forever. Legacy is there forever, and that's my factor. That's my motivating, aspect in this whole thing.
My last couple set of questions. Obviously, boxing fans are fickle, right? They're going to create narratives. They're going to pick and choose. Do you feel that the criticism that you have gotten, not saying it's valid and warrant, but the Lomachenko fight will kind of be the nail in the coffin? Do you feel that by beating Lomachenko and having Teofimo Lopez in your resume kind of shuts all the naysayers out and kind of solidifies that, Kambosos is a future Hall of Famer?
Yeah, look, I don't really get too caught up in the guys criticizing and these people that sit behind their computers that have never, had, like we say in Australia, the balls to step in a ring, never had the guts. They are cowards. So for me, it doesn't really bother me. At the end of the day, I don't know how they find time in between shifts of flipping burgers to sit there and write things. I'm very happy with my life. I'm very, blessed with my life. I've got three beautiful kids. I've got a beautiful family. But don't get it twisted. I'm a hungry warrior and I'm prepared for whatever it takes when it comes May 12th. Kambosos is a warrior. Kambosos steps to the best. So it's to the best. So yes, we add that extra nail to the coffin, but there's many more nails to go to continue doing what we do best and continue building that legacy. That is, like I said, that's the motivating factor, not the critics. The critics are not the ones that step inside the ring, that bleed for this. Never forget that we are the fighters doing it. These people that are sitting behind the screens or the TV watching it. They watch what we do.
My final set of questions I can't help to ask. You share the ring with Teofimo Lopez, Keyshawn Davis, and Tio kind of got back and forth. I mean, I know you haven't shared the ring with Keyshawn, but just from your experience from Tio, is that a good fight for the fight fans? And do you have a prediction in that fight?
Yeah, I like Keyshawn. We've spoken a few times. He was the co-main for my last fight. He's a really good kid. He's explosive. He's strong. So we'll have to wait and see. Yeah, if they can make that fight happen, it's a great fight. But again, I think Lopez, the way he's going to look at who's this young kid? I've got all the accolades. He hasn't won a world title yet. He doesn't deserve to fight me. So maybe he has to push himself into a mandatory position like I did with Lopez to get that respect and get him in the ring. So we have to wait and see. Styles make fights. If they do get it on, who knows what's to happen. But I know what's going to happen on May 12th, and that's Kambosos is going to be victorious against the great Lomachenko and put a nail to the haters, but also put a nail in the end of Lomachenko's career.
And quickly, just to touch, Shakur Stevenson, we don't know what direction he's going to go at. You guys shared some sort of back and forth. He hosts the WBC. Can't help. It always seems like everyone's putting everyone on Kambosos. Tio, I mean, it seems like you're fighting all of them, right? But Tio, Devin, Lomachenko. Is Shakur unification in your radar? Not looking past Lomachenko, but is that the goal?
Yeah, possibly. For me, like I said, my focus, and I cannot state this enough. My focus is Vasiliy Lomachenko. I cannot look ahead. I cannot focus on anyone else but the great Lomachenko. But once we handle our business, then we'll sit down and talk. I did see an interview with Bob this morning that Shakur now will be a free agent, so you have to see what road that takes. But for me, my focus is May 12th. That's all that matters right now.
Okay. And then my last question is, you've been bombarded with many questions, and
You
obviously
love talking to me.
about especially specifically to Devin and Ryan. I guess from a different angle, opposed to who wins and why and things like that. Um, is there something that maybe a lot of fight fans might be underestimating with Devin Haney when it comes to this fight with Ryan Garcia?
On Devin Haney's side, from what underestimating
I
Devin.
guess from what people don't know about Devin, right? Everyone knows that Devin's a slick boxer. Some people say it might be a knockout, but Is there something that we just don't know? Maybe only Kambosos, the fighter, knows going into this fight?
I stated this just before in another interview where Devin, he makes you fight his fight. And in both them fights, I just felt like I was, stuck, trying to fight my fight, but I couldn't. I could never get away. And I was always stuck in fighting his fight. He really, negates the distance well, got a great jab, and he really makes you fight at his pace and the way he wants you to fight him. So that's one of the aspects. And I did hear in his last fight, the commentators talk about that. Actually, they brought that up when he was obviously doing his job on program. He's a great fighter. They said Devin Haney makes you fight his fight. I thought to myself, you know what? They're correct, 100%. That's how I felt. So that's probably one thing being in the ring with a guy like that.
Well, look, I appreciate the time, George. You know, May 12th can't come any faster, right? I mean, another big fight. You deliver for the fight fans. You're always asking for more and more and more, so we appreciate it. For the fight fans, tune in for George Kambosos versus Vasiliy Lomachenko for the IBF and the IBO. Is there anything that you want to let the fans know and any social media to let them know before I go?
Well, you touched on it just there. Kambosos steps to the best. How can you disrespect it? How can you not have respect for Kambosos, a warrior, a guy for the little guys, a guy that steps to the best and still doing it. Mega fight after mega fight, stadium fight after stadium fight, arenas sold out. It's been amazing, but May 12th is going to be very satisfying. So appreciate the support, the love and the hate. Bring it on.